All right, welcome to part 2 of Friendship on the Spectrum. In this video, I'm chatting with Claire from Woodshed Theory. We had an awesome discussion in part 1. If you haven't checked that video out already, you can find a link to that in the description here. You might want to start with that one first. This video is a continuation of part 1, where we go a little bit more in depth, exploring some of the challenges associated with making friends as someone on the spectrum. And also, if you stick around until the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing a couple of apps that I use that I feel make communication a lot easier for maintaining friendships as an adult on the spectrum. So without further ado, part 2, or as Claire would say, part 2. Okay, so I have here with me some information. I had some polls in my Instagram stories. In this poll, I asked for only people on the spectrum to respond. How many people consider that they have a friend or friends? 88% of us said that we do, it made me really happy. That's great. So only 12% said no. So, and obviously this is a smaller sample size, but from the responses that I'm getting, it seems like more so the issue is kind of how to maintain these friendships and how
is a problem.
Yeah, that's kind of our biggest challenge. Okay, so here are some responses to some of the questions that I asked. I asked, what are some of the biggest challenges of maintaining friendships? What do you wish other people would know about being in a friendship as an autistic person? Ashtacular says, sometimes I just get overwhelmed. Also, I care too much and take their problems as my own. Did we not already say that? The Sagster says, it's hard to know that no matter what I do, I can't hide my weirdness. You know what? So don't hide it. That's what I have to say.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, again, if they think it's too much, they can find less somewhere else.
Yeah. That's like, now we need t-shirts that say find less. Something that Zen ZM would like other people to know about maintaining friendships on the spectrum. I wish they were familiar with meltdowns and how that affects me. That's a big topic. We don't have time to go into meltdowns today, but kind of going into how to manage expectations. Once you're in a friendship relationship with someone, that would be a good thing to kind of talk through. And
yes,
yeah, just kind of share what your experience is, because that could help them understand some of those sensory overwhelm moments that we tend to have.
Right. And mitigate it before it becomes a embarrassing thing for everybody.
Marnie Zacharias says how exhausting but uplifting it is to get together with friends. Yes. And I think that's the hard part. There's such a paradoxical piece of this, right? Like, we need friends, we want friends, but it can be exhausting. So like, it's exhausting, but then at the same time, we're uplifted because we feel better after we spend time with them.
Right. It's like you need time afterwards, some like downtime afterwards to recover.
Let's see. B Wells writing says, I still want them to reach out even if I have to decline lots of things. That's super important. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I let people know, because I always feel bad saying no, less so now because I feel like I'm more comfortable with myself. But if somebody asks me, I'm always like, but please in the future, make sure that you ask me again, because who knows how I'll feel then.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because usually when I say no, it's not because of anything the other person did. It's just because of whatever state I happen to be in. And I might say yes to something, but then the day of feel like not going.
Right. Which is, people don't know this, but we've rescheduled this call several times and several, but every time I'm like, I'm really proud of you for taking your needs into consideration. Like, to me, that's much more important than you like forcing something to be done at a specific time.
Well, I appreciate that. And I think it's one thing, you were talking about being a part of this community and how that was your favorite part about your channel. I just think this community like is very understanding of that kind of stuff, which has been very surprising. Like, I'm like, sorry, I can't put anything out this week. Everybody's like, you do you, just take your time, go. Yeah. So there's a lot of really cool things about people in the autistic community. I mean, so many.
I didn't think that it was going to be good either, which I've said before on my channel. I thought it was going to be like, you suck.
More content. Okay, let's see what else we have on here. Okay, so I had a question. It was, what is the most important element of friendship to you? So 41% of people said support. That was the highest response. 34% of people said not feeling alone. 19% of people said shared interest. And there were some comments on this, like shared interests are really nice, but a lot of people don't expect them. Like it's kind of like a nice bonus. And then 6% of people said hanging out in person.
Yeah, I could see why that's 6%.
Yeah. So
For me, it's knowing that you have people in your life that understand that and still want to be there for you, and knowing that you can be understanding and be there for them. Like, to me, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's really good. Oh, Martin says, how do I let someone know I want to go now without offending them? It's so difficult.
I know the autistic, like, leave, like, done, bye.
The autistic leave. It's so true because, and I think I've talked about this before. So the dance class that I was in this semester was a whole huge experiment for me because I haven't done anything like this in forever. And every time when I left, I was like, what do I do? How do I leave this room? Like, how do I leave without it being rude? Every single time.
It's so hard because when an autistic person is done, they're done.
Bye. Yeah, it's so true. So I don't know, maybe just embrace that it is awkward and difficult to do that. And again, you could do kind of like that talk through process of like, I don't want to be rude. I've enjoyed my time. I need to go home now. Maybe talking through it could help.
Yeah, it's hard because in some instances you've disclosed that you're on the spectrum, and in some they wouldn't know. Yeah, that social dance of leaving sucks. So yeah, I don't have the perfect answer. I think it's more like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna head out.
Yeah. And experimenting and finding your own style is really important too. Like, and giving yourself grace. Like, you might try to leave and it comes across really rude. You can always, send a follow-up text if you have their information. You can try again differently next time. But I think a lot of life on the spectrum is an experiment to kind of figure out what works, and that could change every day.
I'm much more understanding of other people now. Yeah, it's just hard. Like, especially if you're around neurodiverse people, it's either going to be they leave really suddenly or they don't know when to leave. And then you don't know how to be like, I need you to go.
So bye. Yeah, that was something we talked about on a live stream I did for the holidays about Thanksgiving, is like having people over at your house and just not knowing how to like get them to leave. It's really hard. Okay, another thing that's coming up a lot is people are asking, Lindsay Sheffy says, figuring out boundaries. How do I not accidentally tell everything that I know? And this has come up with other people too. So it's hard. I think this is another thing, like you could check in and say, I feel like I'm talking a lot. I feel like I'm sharing a lot. Is this too much information for you?
Yeah. If you notice, my eyes got super wide because like, if we started talking, I would literally tell you my entire medical history and not even like think about it.
Yeah.
I, especially pre-diagnosis, like I really struggled to know what's okay, like socially, what's okay to say to what groups of people. It's so hard, like, especially like I would be, like I'd talk about finances and everyone would be super uncomfortable, but like I wasn't thinking that that's a taboo subject. So
yeah, I feel like
I totally get it.
I feel like I've had so many moments like that where I'll say something in a conversation and then the energy will change and I'll be like, I didn't know that it was awkward to say whatever I just said, but now everybody's being weird and I don't know why they're being weird.
Or later it comes up where it's like, like you're just trying to be open and like communicate with people, but you've done it wrong. I get it.
Yeah. So if there's one takeaway that you wanted to give to everybody after this topic of friendship and autism, what do you want to make sure that everybody knows about this topic?
I think the biggest thing for me is that I know that it can feel hopeless sometimes, like as an autistic person, like people don't think that we get lonely, or they don't think that we want relationships or need them. And it can feel like it's not going to happen for you. But I just want to encourage people that things can change, especially if you are new to the knowledge of your diagnosis, things aren't going to change overnight, but that doesn't mean that they aren't going to be different or that you can't have friends in your own way and have those relationships. I just want to encourage people in that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was
Like,
beautiful.
that's my biggest message.
Mic drop.
Now you're going to share some apps for people.
I am. And I will say there's some questions that we haven't been able to hit. Y'all gave us so much feedback, which is amazing and helps us learn even more about the community and the needs. So those questions that we haven't gotten to today, maybe we can check back in. We'll find another way to kind of get those answered, or feel free to submit them again in the comments here or on either of our community tabs, because I know that we're both interested in learning more about the needs of the community. So that being said, there are a couple of really cool apps that I like utilizing in my friendships, and I feel like they're very helpful. So if you have not heard of Marco Polo, have you ever used Marco Polo?
No.
You've never heard of it?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Marco Polo, it's a free app. There is a paid version, and I'm not getting paid for this, but I'm just telling you because I love using it. Marco Polo is like a one-way video chat. So whenever you want to share a message with a friend, you just record a video, la 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 la, I'm done. And then it shows up kind of like an email almost to them, like they get a little notification. Whenever they want to respond back, da la la la, they send you a video. You can watch it on your timeline. They can watch it on their timeline, but there's no like in-person interacting.
Love it.
Yeah, so you're not like processing the information as they're speaking. You don't have to come up with any dialogue or anything like that. So that's been really helpful to me. And it helps me maintain relationships with people that I'd be kind of intimidated to have like that one-on-one conversation with, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I will put a link to that in the description. I love the Marco Polo app. It's very helpful.
Okay, yeah, I haven't, these are great for me.
Yeah. The other app is called Voxer, Voxer. I'll put a link in the description. Voxer is kind of the same thing, but just audio. So you leave an audio message, send to the other person. They listen to it whenever they want, send an audio message back. So those are some non-face-to-face communication options, because I know that's probably the main challenge that people have had in the comments and stuff, is how do we communicate? How do we stay in touch even when we're not feeling it, when we don't have the energy? So I think relying on those apps is really great because you can use them when you do have the energy. Right. And you can listen when you do have the energy, to be able to take in that information. Both of those are really helpful. And then also, I was just going to say, if you haven't already checked out the AS Direct community through Discord, there's an online community. I think it's currently the largest online autistic community. They have all different kinds of, I don't know how to talk about Discord. They have all different kinds of channels, I think, with different.
That's it. Okay. Channels. Okay.
With subjects. So you might be more adept at Discord than I am. So check out that community if you're interested in like joining a larger autistic community. And also Asperger Experts. I believe they also have an online community. Whether or not you check out their community, they have awesome resources. So I know a lot of y'all don't comment about this, don't like the word Asperger's, I know, but we can't help. This is what the name of the organization is. It's a great organization. They have incredible resources about how to manage meltdowns, how to get out of defense mode, which is like a big thing that they talk about on their community. So if you haven't checked out Asperger Experts, that's a great online community where you can get a lot of feedback and resources from other people on the spectrum. It's been so great to be able to finally like talk in a live way.
I know, I'm excited. I also want to mention it's my birthday month and I'm only like 300 away from 2K. So
that's amazing.
Everyone take your little fingers over to my channel.
Let's give her a birthday present. Everybody make sure that you go over to Woodshed Theory on YouTube and subscribe. I will put all of her social media links in the description. She is so fabulous. It's been so fun to connect with her. And I feel like this is like one of many collaborations to come.
Everyone, make sure that you check out Taylor's beautiful new merch line.
Thank you. Yes, this is
so good.
New. Autistic AF. I can't tell my daughter what it means.
I'm trying to think of what it could, like you could say, autistic, awesome,
forever.
forever.
Autistic
Awesome forever.
That's what we can do. So yeah, I had too much fun designing some new stuff for y'all. So I'll put the link to that in the description.
Good.
There are some other designs as well that I think you will like. So I'm super happy about it.
You know what I love? No puzzle pieces, no infinity symbols, no stupid gimmicks.
I know, because we're
Perfect.
like real people. We don't need like all these little symbols. Like, just give us real clothes that are cool, you know? That's what I'm going for.
They're perfect.
Thank you so much for being on the channel, and I'm really excited to get this up. I'm really excited for everybody to learn more about you and your channel, because it's just so great to have other autistic resources and more people in the community.
I feel grateful that you wanted to still talk to me, because I'm me. So,
well, I'm just me. I'm just a normal person who makes YouTube videos like you. So it's been super great, and I can't wait for our next collab.
Okay, well, bye everybody.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Yay.